Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome to the Art of Surrender 5-day intensive. And already, I have a wonderful example of surrender because the technology is not working out the way that I would like it to. And so instead of 5 days of Facebook Lives, it appears that I'm going to be doing 5 days of Zoom videos that I'm going to record, and then I'm going to upload those into the group. Okay. And so I encourage you, even though this isn't live, even though I can't see your comments, I encourage you to participate anyway. And I'm just going to plug in and trust that I give you enough time to do the assignments and the exercises as we go along. And I guess one of the bonuses to having this recorded instead of live is that you can pause the recording if you need more time to complete the exercises that we're going to be going through. So there was a lot of energy moving in the group when I was attempting to go live. And of course, I myself got a little bit flustered, especially when I was being attacked by the dogs. And so I think the first thing that I would like to do with you today is just to help you ground your energy. We're going to ground our energy together. Okay. And that will help to support the technology. And also, it'll just set the stage for being able to lean in with vulnerability to go a little bit deeper into the process together. So, yes. So if you are watching the video, please still drop a comment and say hi, whether you're watching it right when it comes out or a little bit later. It is a replay, but please let me know that you're watching. That would be awesome. Okay. All right. So if it resonates with you, go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and release. Wiggle your toes. We wiggle our toes because it brings our awareness to our body. So wiggle your toes. Be aware of your bottom in your seat, maybe your back up against a chair. Notice your breath. Take another breath in and release. Allowing yourself to relax and to come fully into your body. Calling your attention back from wherever it may have wandered. Calling it back from all the other things that are asking for your attention. We're just going to allow ourselves to get grounded and focused and present in this moment. And now I invite you to open your crown chakra and invite your GUP into this space. GUP stands for God or Goddess, Universe, or Higher Power. This is whatever the divine looks like for you. And the reason we do this, the reason we invite your GUP into this space is because it does create safety. When your GUP is here, a few things happen. Number one, they give you additional insight beyond what I share. They will give you personalized messages. They will personalize the experience for you. And most importantly, they will create safety for you. Okay. You have that element of protection. Good. And likewise, I'm connected with my GUP. I'm calling in my guides to support me. And I am connected to Serapis Bey. Serapis Bey is an ascended master, and he's the one who asked me to do this challenge. He is He's kind of overseeing everything. And so while I'm teaching, I'm also kind of channeling him as well. He's the one who's going to be giving me the information that I'm going to be sharing with you today. And so that's a lot of surrender. There are things that I would like to say. Already, our experience today has been an exercise for me in letting go of control, letting go of expectations, letting go of the way I think things are supposed to happen. Okay. And so I love that I was prepared for the way this ended up today. And so I'm here in the Florida Keys right now, and I love to take walks. I'm surrounded by water. It's not hard to get to the ocean from anywhere I am, right? And one of the things that I like to do is I found one of those round buoys. It's a crab buoy for the crab and lobster traps, right? And I found one of those, and that was really exciting. And I like it for decoration. And so I was thinking I would like to find some more of those, string them together for decoration here in my camper while I'm in the Florida Keys. And so we had a bit of a storm with a lot of wind and a little bit of rain on Friday night, I believe it was. No, it was Saturday night. No, Friday night. No, it was Saturday. Okay, so it was Saturday night. And then, and so on Sunday, I thought, oh, this would be a good time for me to find a buoy, right? After all of that rain and the tumultuous waves. So probably if there were any buoys that were washed ashore, this would be a great time to find them. And so I went walking and I wasn't seeing any. And then there was a little something that was white that caught my eye. And I walked over and I checked it out, and it was not a round circular buoy, but it was a rectangular cube foam buoy. And so it wasn't what I was expecting, but it was what I asked for. And I realized that I can take this thing home and I can paint it, drill a hole in it, and attach that to the rest of the buoys that I'm collecting, right? And it will be just as beautiful. And in fact, it will be interesting. It'll be a little bit interesting because it is different. It's different than what I was expecting. And so it was what I had asked for, but it showed up differently than what I expected in a way that surprises and delights me. And so I was very well prepared for, and also I got the message, right? The message for me was, don't expect this intensive that you are going to be presenting. Don't expect that to go exactly the way you have planned. And here we are. It did not. It is not going as planned. Still, wonderful, good stuff. And so the first thing that I wanted to talk about, I wanted to introduce myself, actually. Let's do that. My name is Shelley Howells, and I am a dragon-hearted transformation warrior. And so what that means is that through energy healing and light language, I help people to bridge where they are now to where they dream of being. I'm also an ascension way shower. And what that means is that, as you know, the earth is going through some really big changes, and so are we. People are waking up. They are beginning to ascend to the higher dimensions. And what I've been learning by connecting with the ascended masters, what I've been learning is that the first step to ascension, it's really a shift in perspective. It's looking at things in a different way. And instead of looking at things as, oh my gosh, this is a disaster, it's looking at it as, wow, that's experience. That's a different experience. It was surprising and still meaningful for me. And so I love sharing that. And that's what I hope to do for you during this process. I hope that I am able to shift your perspective away from fear, away from the need to control, so that you can release that control and surrender to the flow of life. And so a lot of times, the reason behind control, the reason we try and control everything, is because control gives us the illusion of safety. When things are happening around us and these things are triggering our fears, we don't feel safe. And so we try and control things and bring it back into this place of safety. But that is only illusion. It is only illusion. And so I'm an empath. Many of you are empaths, and I'm an empath. This is a skill, a gift, an intuitive gift that I developed at a very, very young age. And it was because I had a volatile childhood. There was violence in my childhood. And so I really had to pay attention and gauge the temperature of all the people around me. And if tempers started to raise, then I needed to kind of step in and try and bring things back down level, right? I was a wonderful little peacemaker. I mean, I tried to be the peacemaker. It didn't always work, okay? But I would try and get things to calm down, or run and hide and protect myself if things started to get under control. And so through this gift of being an empath, I felt a little more secure because I felt a little more in control. Now, the truth of it was, there was still violence. Bad things still happened. I was in an insecure place. The only thing that fear and control do for us is it makes us contract. And today we're going to be doing some exercise to release fears. But when the fears come in, we try and control our environment. But in reality, the fear is what is controlling us. It is making us contract. We try and reduce our risk by going inward, by hiding, by not engaging. And when that happens, we miss out on so much life, because yes, the fear in some respect is protecting us from the bad. It's also protecting us from the good. It's blocking us from the good. And I know that Amy Radamak, you said that at first you were wanting to surrender the negative stuff, right? All of these things that are going on. And then you realize, no, I want to surrender to the good stuff. I want to open myself so that I can receive all that good stuff. Yes, 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 yes. That is a beautiful, beautiful intention. And so that's what we want to do. When we're in fear, we close ourselves off, hoping to protect from the bad, but we also close ourselves off from the good, and we stop living life. And so my daughter Jeanette is a great example of this, bless her heart. She's the one who had a spontaneous brain bleed, and also we grew up in a very strict religion that was not very open to alternative, to different sexuality. And when she discovered she was lesbian, it was really, really hard on her. And so she has allowed herself, also, she did have a girlfriend once and was hurt by that. And so she has allowed herself to just go inward and to the point where she stays in her room playing video games, and she's not living life. She's not living life. She's 26 years old and she's not living life. And we had a conversation about this just the other night, encouraging her to live life again. You don't want to just get stuck in that place of fear. You don't want to get stuck in that place of contraction. You want to be able to expand. So let's take a look at your fears. The other thing that I want to do before we get too far into our program is I want you, if you haven't already, I want you to think of an intention. What do you want to experience during our 5 days together? What is the outcome that you would like to have? And many of you have shared your intentions in the group, and I love reading them. Fantastic intentions. Also remember that the more specific your intention, the more specific your outcome. Okay, so yes, it's okay to say, yeah, I just want to, I want to learn how to surrender, and that's awesome. That also might only take you surface level. But if you go a little bit deeper with your intention, like Amy did, right? I want to surrender to all of these good things that I want in my life. And also, I forgot who this was, who has a similar situation with me. She said, I want to surrender so that I can release my codependency and to have, new things, new experiences in my life. These are great intentions. And so if you haven't already, pause and think about your intention for our time together. And then when you have that, then what I'm going to do, we're going to do some exercises to help us release that fear, to release that grip of control that fear has over us. And so let's think of one area in your life where you feel out of control, where you are not surrendering. This could be in a relationship. It could be in your business. It could be in your personal life. It could be the actions of other people. Lean into that, think about it, and choose just one area that you are just white knuckling, holding on to control. Okay. And then go ahead and type it in the comments. Let me know what that one thing is, or let me know when you've got it. Say got it when you've got it, okay? And if you're feeling brave and you would like to share, go ahead and drop it in the comments. And I recognize that that's very vulnerable. When you show up in your vulnerability, you invite the rest of the community to love on you and support you. And that creates safety too. It's a funny thing, right? That you create safety by being vulnerable. It's counterintuitive, but it's true. If you are vulnerable, then you let us love on you, and when we love and support you, then you feel safe. So drop it in the comments what the one thing is that you are holding on tightly to, that you are controlling very tightly. If you brought a pen and paper, I invite you to pause this. So I'll give you a minute for that. Okay. So grab a pen and paper, and at the top of the paper, we're going to do some free writing. We're going to do a little bit of journaling here. So at the top of the paper, you're going to write, I want to release control of, and then write the situation of this situation, whatever that is, write it in, but dot, dot, dot. And from here, you're going to say, but I'm afraid that, and I want you to just free write your fears. What fears are coming up for you? Go ahead and write them all down. List them out. So while you're thinking of that, while you're doing that, some common fears are, I'm afraid of what other people will think. I'm afraid of failure. Flip side of that is I'm afraid of success. I'm afraid that I will lose the people that I love, that I will lose friends, that I will lose relationships. People will think I'm weird. Someone will get hurt. I might get hurt. I might hurt other people. And then the big one, of course, underlying all of that, and it might not be logical, but sometimes we still feel it, and that is like, I'm afraid I'm going to die, or someone else is going to die. You might be afraid, I'm afraid that nobody will love me, nobody will accept me. I'm afraid I'm not smart enough. I'm afraid I don't have the courage. I'm afraid that I'm too weak. Those are all some possibilities. So I'm going to give you another minute. And if you need more time, you can pause the video here, or you can allow yourself to finish this a little bit later as well. And I want you to keep going until you find the fear that makes you go, ooh, the one that hits hard. Okay. Keep going until you feel that, oh, that one got me. Keep going. Good, 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 good. Like I said, if you need more time, pause the video and come back to it, okay? But you want to make sure that you get to that oof moment. And so if you reach that oof, the big one, right? The one that really hurts your heart, the one that is really, really holding you back. Again, you don't have to do this, all the permission energy in the world, but if you feel like sharing that fear, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Let us see what's coming up for you so that we can love on you and support you. Okay. And I guarantee that you're not the only one that has that fear. Our fears are surprisingly universal. Okay. So go ahead, and even if you don't drop it in the comments, I want you to circle the big one. Make note of that big one that that is coming up for you. That's the first one that we're going to work with. And now as you take a look at that one, there's a reason for that fear. There is an experience in your past that taught you to be afraid of that thing. And so close your eyes for a moment and allow yourself to think back to a time where you were wounded, where this belief and this fear was born. Or not even the initial one. It could be any experience that you had that caused you to reinforce this fear, that caused you to have this fear. So think back to that moment. It might come immediately to mind for you, where you're like, oh yeah. An example of this is whenever I do my programs, my group coaching programs, I think one of the fears that comes up is that nobody's going to sign up. Nobody is going to want to color. I did an essential oils class and I only had one person show up. Or I was teaching an online class and I didn't have anybody show up for it. Or I was going to be doing a program and this one was on me. I was out of alignment for it. My energy was not open to it at all. And so of course, nobody signed up for that because I was not open. I was not open to receiving it and I was not in alignment at that time. And so allow yourself to think of that moment that reinforced this fear. And for some of you, it might not be coming to mind immediately, and that's okay. Remember the video I did on resistance? You might not feel safe to go back and find that memory. And if that's the case, then just go ahead and breathe in deeply and connect with your gut and ask your gut to create safety for you. It is safe for me to know. Just tell yourself, it is safe for me to know. It is safe for me to remember. Breathe into that. And if there's still some resistance around it, go ahead and ask your gut to show you something similar, something that happened that reinforced that fear. So it doesn't have to be the big, super scary thing that caused that fear, but maybe something that reinforced it, that is easier for you to take a look at. Okay. And then when you have your fear, go ahead and type done in the comments, or you can say, or you can share that fear if you would like to. That memory, the memory, not the fear, but the memory. Okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do, again, go ahead and close your eyes. And we're going to do a quick visualization. So close your eyes. And I want to see yourself. I want you to see yourself in that moment when that scary thing happened. How old were you? What did you look like? What was going on around you? How were you feeling? And then I invite you to take your now, go as your now person, go to the past you that had that experience and wrap your arms around her. Validate her. Let her know, yeah, that was really scary. That was really hard. That really hurt you. Yeah, you have a right to be angry. You have a right to be afraid. That was really hard. And then also validate her. I'm really proud of you because you made it through. and you learned from it, and look, you're so strong. And yes, we wish it hadn't happened. Also, you're amazing. And then share any other words of encouragement and validation that come up for you in that circumstance. Continue to hold her, hug her, let her cry, let her scream, let her yell. Cry, scream, and yell with her if you need to. But acknowledge what had happened. Okay. When that feels complete, I want you to talk to your past self again and say, yes, this happened and it was really hard, but I'm choosing to leave this experience in the past now. I choose to have a different experience now. Thank you for protecting me and keeping me safe, trying to keep me safe. Thank you for that. And I'm going to release you now to remain in the past while I move into the future. I'm choosing not to bring the past into my present and my future. And breathe into that. And then come back into the present moment, where you take a look at your fear, at the current circumstances that you're trying to control, and you take a look at that fear. And maybe that could happen, but there are a lot of other possibilities. You don't have to repeat that. You get to experience something new. And so instead of feeling the fear, lean into the possibilities, because that's only one potential outcome. There are so many potential outcomes. What if the best case scenario happened? Allow yourself a moment to think about the best case scenario. What is that possibility? What would it look like? And what would it feel like? So I'll give you a moment to project yourself into that best possible scenario outcome. Good, 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 good. Okay, so now you have a worst case scenario possibility as an outcome, and you have the best case scenario possibility as an outcome. And guess what? There are infinite possibilities in between those two. So maybe it won't turn out as well as you hoped, but not as bad as it had been. Maybe it will be just maybe it's a best case scenario in a completely different way, right? Maybe the best case scenario shows up for you through a completely unexpected channel. That's a possibility. And so allow yourself to be present in this moment, not knowing what's going to happen in the future, but just opening up to those possibilities. and leaving that fear in the past. Okay. And so I'm going to give you a moment now also to jot down some of those possibilities, whatever comes to mind for you. And if you have a hard time thinking of them, ask your gut, what are some potential outcomes? Worst case disaster scenario, yes, yes, yes. And you know, that could happen. I survived before, I'm going to survive again. That's okay. And then what are these best case scenarios? And everything in between. What are some potential outcomes? Just jot them down for a moment. Okay, good, 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 good. As always, if you need to pause the video, go ahead and do that and continue your list. All right, so now you have a list of potential outcomes, right? I'm going to share with you a technique that is so good. It feels so good. This is one that I use often to help calm my fears. And the reason this works is because if you get grounded and present right here in the present moment, you and me together, right? Right here, right now, that entire list of outcomes hasn't happened. You don't know what it is. Right here, right now, in this present moment, you're okay. You have the past is behind you. We let it go. We released it to remain in the past. And so you're brand new right here in this moment, and everything's okay. Just for today, you have enough money. Just for today, your relationship is okay. Just for this moment, I should say, right here, right now, in the present moment, your relationships are okay. You have enough money, you have clothes, you have shelter, you have food. Right here, right now, just in this moment, everything is okay. I'm not saying it's great, but everything's okay. All right. So what I invite you to do is to place your hands on your heart. Take a deep breath in and then repeat, I am okay no matter what happens. Everyone is okay no matter what happens. I am okay no matter what happens. Everyone is okay no matter what happens. I am okay no matter what happens. Everyone is okay no matter what happens. I am okay no matter what happens. Everyone is okay no matter what happens. I am okay no matter what happens. Everyone is okay no matter what happens. Continue repeating that as long as you need to, till you feel the tension releasing from your body. until you're able to feel the truth of it right here, right now, in this present moment. I am safe. Everyone is okay. Everyone's okay. I'm okay. Everyone's okay. Right here, right now. It's all right, no matter what happens. Good, 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 good. Okay, so I think the next one that we're going to do, because we have the list of possibilities, right? This is a great tool to help you move out of, I guess before I jump right into that, drop it in the comments. How are you doing? How did that make you feel? Were you able to reach that place of surrender, of that feeling of peace and calm and knowing that everything is okay? No judgment if that was hard for you. No judgment if you got close but not quite there. No judgment if that was a little too hard for you to believe that everything was going to be okay. There's no judgment there. That just tells me that you need a little bit more time. Okay, so let me know in the comments, what was your experience? And I am going to be watching this. I'm going to be watching the comments. I'm watching this, rewatching this video with you so that I can answer all of your comments. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments as well, and I'll come back and answer them. Okay, so let me know what your experience was. Okay. Good, 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 good. Okay, so the next exercise that I want to share with you, if you've been in my space, you've probably seen it. It is one of my favorite things to do. I use this in my sessions with people as well. Incredibly powerful. In fact, I'm known as the queen of permission energy. And so I'm going to teach you permission tapping. This is so powerful when you are feeling like you have to control everything. This is so wonderful when your perfectionism freezes you into place. This is a great one for helping you shift your perspective so that you can get to that space of everything's going to be okay. This is such a good tool, and I use it all the time. I use it with my clients. I use it with myself. And I share it all the time. Okay. And so I'm going to do it generically. Oh man, I wish we were live because I would take an example for you. Okay. Let me just kind of connect with my guides and ask for a good example. And you guys can continue writing in the comments while I'm figuring this out. Okay. Okay, so I feel like there might be somebody in the group who is dating, okay, that is opening up to dating other people. And so I'm feeling like this might be, this is just an example to give you an idea of how it works, but somebody might be facing a first date scenario or the possibility of a first date scenario, right? Like putting yourself out there into the dating world, and what is that going to look like? And I want to control everything about it, but I also want to surrender to the experience and just like love that experience, right? But the past experiences are coming up, creating these fears, and that perfectionism is kicking in, and you're worried, right? And so the way that it works is you curl your fingers like this and up and around the ear right here on each side, is the triple warmer meridian. The triple warmer meridian is the one that controls the fight or flight reflex. And so we're going to have our fingers like this, and we're going to tap up and around, and then come forward again, up and around. We're not going to swing back this way, always from front to back, always from front to back, both sides. Okay, and here's what it looks like. It's okay if that first date goes really well. It's okay if that first date is a complete bomb. It's okay if I kind of like the guy. It's okay if I really like the guy. It's okay if I can't stand the guy. It's okay if I stay for the whole date. It's okay if I leave 5 minutes into the date. It's okay if I leave right after we eat the meal. It's okay if I stay longer. It's okay if we go out for coffee afterwards. It's okay if I look amazing for my date. It's okay if I don't look amazing for my date. It's okay if I say something really stupid. It's okay if I'm witty and hilarious. It's okay if I'm fascinating. It's okay if I'm boring. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And you smooth that out. Okay. So we do have some energy healers here as well. And some of you have classes that you teach. Myself, I have classes. And so I'm going to use the example also of filling my programs. Okay. So filling your classes, what that would look like is, again, you curl your fingers, tapping up and around. It's okay if I fill my class. It's okay if I get lots and lots of people in my class. It's okay if nobody comes to my class. It's okay if I don't register a single person in my class. It's okay if I only register one person in my class. It's okay if I register a few people in the class. It's okay if my class is overflowing. It's okay if I have a huge demand for my class. It's okay if I schedule a second class. It's okay if I cancel the class. It's okay if I change the date on the class. It's okay if I have a lot of people. It's okay if I only have a few people. It's okay if nobody shows up. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And smooth that out. Okay, could you feel that? Can you feel the permission energy when you let go of the perfectionism, when you let go of the expectation of what it has to look like? And instead you just lean into, I don't know, let's see what happens. It's okay. It's okay no matter what happens, right? I'm okay no matter what happens. Everyone's okay no matter what happens. Whatever happens, I'm living the experience. I'm leaning into it. I'm allowing myself to feel all the feelings. I get to do that. Okay. So now I would invite you to go ahead and pause this video, or you can rewind it a little bit and follow along. Do your own permission tapping with your own words, according to your own circumstances. Lean into it. And remember, what you're doing here is kind of like what we did with the options, right? In fact, you can literally do this with the options that you just wrote down for your experience. Is you can do that. Actually, you know what? This will be your homework. Okay, your homework today is going to be to do permission tapping based on the list that you created for yourself of the options. When you wrote down all the possible options, the worst case scenario, the best case scenario, and everything else in between, your homework is going to be to do that permission tapping. And then I have a post that is going to be a check-in post. It's what was your biggest aha or takeaway? I want you to comment on that post and let me know what came up for you. Okay, let me know what that experience was like for you. Okay. Okay, I think that that's complete. Let me know how that was for you, okay? Let me know how you felt during that. If you have any questions, if you're not sure how to do it, drop that in the comments as well, and I will come back and clarify for you. Okay, all right, that's awesome. Good work today, you guys. Good work. It takes courage to face your fears. It's much easier to ignore them and allow them to control you. And so thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you again for holding space for me, for your patience with the technology, the way that it was showing up for me, and allowing me to pivot here. Have a wonderful day. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this format. I'm going to go ahead and keep this format and not take my chances with the with the internet, because there is so much energy happening. And so tomorrow I will record tomorrow's section, tomorrow's segment, tomorrow's class, and I will post that in the Facebook group at 3 o'clock. So you will have access to that at 3 o'clock. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and we will see you tomorrow.